Dear students, I welcome Standard 10 English Medium students of Maharashtra State Board. The book which we have here is Maharashtra State Board English Kumar Bharti Standard 10. Let's see what's given in the preface of this book. Dear students, you all know that English has been accepted as the lingua franca of the world. In times of increasing globalization, knowledge, understanding and use of English in oral and written communication has become the need of the hour. As such, this textbook offers you an opportunity to reach out to the world. Dear children, English is not just a subject in your curriculum. It is the medium through which we learn all other subjects. A good command over the language will make it easier for you to study other subjects too. Our main aim is to help you use English with confidence. The textbook also aims to help students to attain a proficiency level in English whereby you can directly think in English rather than think in your mother tongue and translate your thoughts in English. Dear students, you all are aware about the 4 skills of language learning, that is LSRW: listening, speaking, reading and writing. You have to focus and improve these language skills. You should also concentrate on the language study, that is the grammar and vocabulary of every content, and try to understand the concepts thoroughly. In this book we have 4 units, and in each unit we have 6 subunits which contains prose and poetry. My dear students, all the lessons of this book are very interesting and gives you immense knowledge, good morals and values. Every subunit has 3 sections, that is warming up, main content and English workshop. Students should take part in all the activities and exercises in the warming up and English workshop sections with enthusiasm. I think, dear students, there is no need to take stress of board exams. Be relaxed, but be thorough with the content and revise it. Be updated with the studies and don't keep the work pending. I am sure by doing so, you will definitely crack the exams with good marks. I wish all the students all the best for the board exams. Dear students, today we are going to learn a poem. So let's first understand what is a poem. A poem is a piece of writing in which the words are arranged in separate lines, often ending in rhyme, and are chosen for their sound and for the images and ideas they suggest. Do you know, children, there are different types of poems in English? Let's learn about them. A long story poem, often mythical, is known as epic. A short story poem with a message is known as ballad. A poem of 14 lines is a sonnet. A song-like poem is known as lyric. A poem with no uniformity of rhyme, rhythm, etc. is called as free verse. A poem set in picturesque or rustic background is known as idyll. A sad poem lamenting death of a loved one is an elegy. A 5-line short poem with rhyme scheme AABBA is a limerick. A poem written just to create humor is known as humorous. So dear children, let's proceed towards our today's content, that is Standard 10 Subject English Unit 1 Lesson 1.1, which is a poem titled Where the Mind is Without Fear. Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by Rabindranath Tagore. So dear children, let's know first about this great poet. Rabindranath Tagore was born to Devendranath Tagore and Sarda Devi on 7th May 1861 in Calcutta, India. He was the youngest of his parents' 14 children. He was a great poet, novelist, theorist, painter, music composer and a true Indian. Dear children, you are aware that our national anthem Jana Gana Mana is written by Rabindranath Tagore. He was popularly known as Gurudev. He was also known as the Bard of Bengal. Tagore wrote his first poem when he was only 8 years old. In 1877, when he was 16, Tagore published his first large poetry collection. In 1878, Tagore was sent to University College of London to study law. But he left the college and started an independent study of Shakespeare's play. In 1883, Rabindranath married Mrunalini and together they had 5 children. He was the author of Gitanjali and its profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful verse. He became the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. Dear children, Tagore is most widely known for his poetry, but he was also an accomplished author of novels, short stories, plays and articles. He took an active interest in widespread range of social, cultural and artistic endeavors. He was also a great patriot. He joined the Indian freedom movement with Mahatma Gandhi. He had great contribution in India's independence. Some of the notable works of Tagore are Gitanjali, The Postmaster, Gora, Kabuliwala, Sadhana, Manasi, Sonatori, Galpaguch, etc. Tagore died on August 7, 1941 in Kolkata, India at the age of 80. So, such a great personality was Rabindranath Tagore. Dear children, now let's know some of his famous quotes which inspire people all over the world. They are, it's very simple to be happy, it's very difficult to be simple. It's very simple to be happy, it's very difficult to be simple. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. We cross infinity with every step. We meet eternity in every second. We cross infinity with every step. We meet eternity in every second. So children, these were some of the famous quotes by Rabindranath Tagore. Now dear children, open your textbook, page number 3, unit 1, lesson 1.1, a poem titled Where the Mind is Without Fear. Where the Mind is Without Fear is one of Rabindranath Tagore's vastly read and discussed poems. It was originally composed in Bengali and later he himself translated it into English. This poem is from his Nobel Prize winning anthology Gitanjali. Dear students, you all know that Tagore lived during the time when India was ruled by the British. In this poem, besides political freedom from British, Tagore also appeals to God for social, educational and economic freedom for the people of India. Where the mind is without fear is set in the India of the poet's dreams. This is the India that he hopes will be created after its independence from British rule. This poem is a free verse and consists of 11 lines in total. These lines are not divided into stanzas. They are divided into meaningful segments in order to make the poem easier to follow and understand. So dear students, let's recite this motivational poem. Where the mind is without fear. Where the mind is without fear. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Where knowledge is free. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Where words come out from the depth of truth. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my father led my country away. Into that heaven of freedom, my father led my country away by Rabindranath Tagore. In this poem, there are some new words. So let's understand their meaning. Narrow domestic walls means division on the basis of religion, caste, class and color in societies and between countries of the world. Tireless striving means continuous efforts and struggle. Stretches its arms means aims at achieving a goal. Dead habit means old traditional rituals and customs that are harmful. Ever widening means forever broadening one's outlook. Heaven of freedom means condition of total freedom of good thoughts, good words and good deeds while respecting those of others. Dear children, now let's understand the poem. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Dear students, here the poet dreams of a world, dreams of a country where everyone is fearless. Fearless in the sense, fearlessness from despotism, fearlessness from tyranny, and where everyone can lead a life of dignity with his head held high and with confidence. Where knowledge is free. Where knowledge is free. Dear students, here the poet says that knowledge should be available freely to all citizens. That is, educational institutes should admit students of all races and classes. Everyone should have the right to gain knowledge without any discrimination. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Dear children, here the poet dreams of a country which will not be broken up or divided into pieces. He wants the countrymen to get rid of narrow domestic walls, namely division on the basis of religion, caste, color and creed. All the various regions of India and their people should be united instead of fighting amongst themselves for supremacy. They should fight together against a common enemy to determine their common fate. There should be unity in diversity in our country. Where words come out from the depth of truth. Where words come out from the depth of truth. Here the poet says that everyone should speak the truth. No person should lie for his own advantage. The truth should be prevalent. There should not be any corruption. When everyone will speak truth, it will lead towards the development of the country. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. The poet wants everyone to make efforts to improve himself and keep trying till he reaches a stage of self-perfection. He wants his countrymen to be sincere and hardworking and tirelessly strive to achieve the goals. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habits. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habits. Dear students, here the poet says that there is a reason behind everything. Nothing is unreasonable in the society. The poet wants everyone to get rid of the gloomy desert filled with the sand of dead habits. That is, old traditional rituals and customs that are harmful. We should put an end to superstitions, child marriages, sati system, dowry system prevailing in the country. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Here thee refers to God. The poet prays God to show us all the correct path so that we can broaden the horizon of both our thoughts and action. Into the heaven of freedom, my father led my country away. Into the heaven of freedom, my father led my country away. Dear children, here heaven of freedom is an imaginary place where everyone will have equal right to live, where there is mutual understanding, where there is unity in diversity. Poet prays Almighty God to bless us the heaven of freedom. Let my countrymen awake and live into this heaven of freedom. So, this was the summary of the poem. Hope you have understood it, children. Now, let's understand the critical appreciation of the poem. The points to be included in the critical appreciation are title, poet, rhyme scheme, figure of speech and central idea. Dear students, remember that the critical appreciation should be written in paragraph format. So let's learn about critical appreciation. First, title and poet. So, the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear is written by the famous Indian poet Rabindranath Tagore, who wrote the Gitanjali. Rhyme scheme. There is no rhyme scheme. It's a free verse poem. Yet, every line has its own tone and its own importance in the poem. Next is figure of speech. Figure of speech add beauty to the poem. Tagore has used apostrophe, metaphor, antithesis, alliteration, personification to express his thoughts. For example, into ever-widening thought and action. This is antithesis. Let my country awake. This is personification. Now move towards the central idea of the poem. Here the poet wants all Indians to move towards progress, to have minds without fear and to forget problems that lead to narrow-mindedness and divide the people on the basis of religion, caste, class and color. The poet prays that the people of India tirelessly strive and move towards perfection. The poet prays to the Almighty God to give his country and countrymen ever-widening thought and action and lead them into the heaven of freedom. Rabindranath Tagore asked God to make his nation and his countrymen strong and give them the will and capacity to progress. So this was the central idea of the poem. Now, dear children, what all we have learned today? We have learnt about Rabindranath Tagore, the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, summary of this poem and critical appreciation of the poem. Hope you have understood it now. So now you can try to solve English workshop section. Thank you, children. Dear viewers, subscribe Sangli SHikshan Sanstha's YouTube channel and press the bell icon for further notifications. Thank you.